My name is Isabel Demonja, and I am the UX lead in the OpenAthens UX team. Today, I will be discussing the UX processes that we've had in the UX team over the past year, the things that we've learned, and our plans for the upcoming year. So, what is user experience or UX, as we like to call it? This is a question I get asked quite regularly because it's in my job title. And actually, it's quite a complex answer because UX encompasses quite a lot of different capabilities. I've listed a number of them here: user research, UI design, UX writing, user testing, service design, and there are quite a lot more than that. But UX is like a cake with lots of different ingredients and lots of different capabilities, but it also has lots of different methods for making the cake. And we like to say that user experience covers all aspects of the end user's interactions with the company, its services, and its products. And that's why there's so many different capabilities involved in this discipline. It's really important for users to have good user experience. It ensures that they find value in the service that we're providing for them, in the products that we're providing for them. And we like to say with this cake that the user interface or the visual design is kind of like the icing on the cake. It's a really important first impression for our users to see, but it's supported by all the other essential ingredients and the depth and the texture and the taste. So who are these users that we talk about? Understanding our users is crucial for delivering a great user experience at OpenAthens. We focus on three main user groups. So the first user group that we like to focus on is the researchers and the students. They are researchers and students accessing content and reliable information without multiple logins is really important to them. It's what they need to fulfill their roles. And they need to trust that they are accessing the most accurate and the most relevant information. Often the researchers and students don't really notice that they're using OpenAthens because it works seamlessly in the background. But when things go wrong, that's when they really need to trust OpenAthens and get reliable support to resolve the issues. The next user group that we focus on in OpenAthens, and this is a really important user group for us, I'm sure there are a lot on the call, is the librarians. Now, librarians have quite a lot of diverse roles, from very technical experts to solo operators in small libraries. But no matter the different roles that our librarians fulfill, they have a common goal of ensuring that their end users, the researchers or the students, can access the content that they need. And it's really important that they can trust OpenAthens to help them achieve this goal efficiently. The third user group that I'm going to talk about today is our publishers. And our publishers are really interested in content security and ensuring that their content is accessed by the right customers securely. So they need to trust that their content is being managed and accessed appropriately. I think what you might have noticed is a common theme amongst our users is trust and ensuring that users trust our products and services is really important to us. So how do we do this? Well, we are implementing a robust UX design process at OpenAthens. We're establishing comprehensive processes to enhance our products and to help us to meet our user needs. And this kind of breaks down into three separate areas. So the first is user research and insights. This is a key ingredient in our UX process. We want to understand user behaviors, goals, and tasks. And what we're doing is we're using these insights to empathize with our users to ensure that our designs address user needs and build trust. So once we understand those the users and we have a lot of insights, what we've been doing is we've been aligning our different UX processes with design thinking methodology. Um, and we're sort of integrating design thinking principles to focus on user problems and design the right solutions to help solve those problems. We use a lot of workshops and different UX methodologies to foster innovation and user-centric design. And the third part of our design process is incorporating user experience into our iterative development. So we've embedded the UX processes within this development cycle, and we're continuously refining and improving products based on user feedback and testing. So the development is like the baking of the cake and the icing on the cake. Um, but you never really know if you've achieved the right mix until you taste the cake. So we prototype and test the most promising ideas. You wouldn't send out a recipe to cake to a production line until you tried out those a number of iterations. So I'm going to go a little bit deeper into some of this methodology that I'm talking about. And let's start with the user research. So we start with a lot of surveys. We have a lot of surveys to gather quantitative data on our user preferences and behaviors. Then we go on to one-to-one interviews. We've conducted over 50 interviews this year to gain deep qualitative insights into our user experiences and motivation. This year, we've started using a lot of unmoderated testing. We use a tool called Listener to observe natural user interactions without guidance. And this helps to understand our users' natural reactions and self-navigation. We've also tried out some pilot studies where we test product feasibility and effectiveness with a smaller group before full launch of product ideas. And we have the support of the customer success team who gather insights and feedback on user needs, pain points, and expectations. We've been getting a lot of ideas from our customers in this way. So what we started to do was put together our ideas portal, and that helps us to gather creative input from our customers and stakeholders really early in the product development cycle. And we also do use user testing and user data to identify patterns, trends, and frustrations, and to iterate on product development. I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the UX processes that have been really successful in our team this year. We have developed a set of personas, and you had a glimpse of some of those at the start of this presentation. So these are user representations, and they help us to understand the needs and behaviors and goals that are really important to us. And they help to guide our design decisions and development processes. It also helps focus the team back on our target audience and helps us to ensure our products are meeting the needs of different user segments. So design thinking is sort of like a buzzword that's used to describe loads of different workshops and methodologies that help us focus on problems and designing solutions for those problems. And the design sprint is one of my favorite groups of these workshops. It's a quick 5-day process that helps create and test prototypes, incorporating real world user feedback really early on. It's ideal for validating new ideas and solving specific problems really quickly. When we've done a design sprint, we do some user journey mapping because it helps us understand the step-by-step process that our users are going through when they're experiencing our problems. The benefits of this is that it pinpoints areas for improvement and aligns the team communication. It's like a live document that helps us understand the entire user experience and pain points. We also use a lot of wireframes and prototypes. After the design sprints, we have the initial idea visualization, but then we go into a detailed visual representation of the product, which helps us to identify usability issues really early on. It's much more cost effective and than going and just developing something, and helps you spot problems before you spend lots of money on developing something. Um, so we use this before the development stage. We also use heuristic evaluations to help identify usability issues. And that's kind of based on a set of best practice guidelines that help us kind of identify issues before we even put the product in front of users. Um, The third part of our process I mentioned earlier on is how our UX team is integrating with the development team in an iterative way. Um, and one of the key tools to help us do this is the design system that our team have been working on over the past year. A design system is a way of providing consistency. It provides standards and reusable components for a cohesive user experience. And it works as a tool for collaboration as well, because it acts as a common language between our UX designers and our developers. And that makes collaboration much more efficient and sustainable. It's sustainable as well because we're reusing components. So our development team work in an agile Scrum framework, and we have incorporated UX designers into this agile Scrum. So it helps with collaboration because our UX designers work really closely with the developers, and they're providing timely design inputs and participating in daily stand-ups to integrate user feedback continuously. I mentioned earlier on about unmoderated testing, and this gives us real world feedback, and we can use this in a really quick way to get feedback on specific features in without any supervision, and it helps to improve that iterative cycle by spotting usability issues before release. And the last test before we go live will be the beta testing. So what we do is we can get some final feedback from a select small group of users before we'll launch new features in our product, and it helps us to polish that experience for our users. So that helps us to make functional and delightful products and to continuously improve based on user feedback and evolving needs. So we have faced a number of challenges this year, and I'm going to talk a little bit about some of those challenges. So user recruitment has been one of the challenges that we faced, and that finding the right users for research and testing can be quite difficult. It takes a lot of time and resources, and sometimes incentives to ensure that we get a diverse representation of our user base. Speaking of a diverse representation, accessibility has also been a challenge this year because there were new guidelines that came in 2024 to ensure that products are accessible to all users, including those with disabilities. And this is really crucial and important to us. But it involves adhering to accessibility standards and continually testing to identify and fix accessibility issues. This can be really challenging with legacy software. Our product has evolved over a number of years, and some of the software that we've been working with is becoming outdated. So that can limit the implementation of modern UX practices. And it just takes a lot more effort sometimes to integrate the new designs and new functionality with existing infrastructure. So we've also really had a challenge at the beginning of the year with our team capacity, trying to fit all of these different processes in a small team has been really challenging. So we've been growing our team over the year, which has been really helpful and helps us to have a broader scope of skills in our team as well. So as we've grown our team, we've grown our skills set and we've grown the different capabilities that we have to address different aspects of user experience, which is great. And again, a challenge for user experience is always around the culture of the company. And user experience has always been really important to Open Athens. But building in this new process that we have defined over this year has been it's always a challenge to make a user-centered culture within an organization um, and to get buy-in from all levels of the organization and commitment to prioritizing user experience in the decision-making process. We've had a lot of successes this year, and I'd like to talk through some of the things that have been really pivotal for us. Um, The design system has been a huge success for the UX team this year. We that consistency and efficiency we have successfully established and integrated across various parts of our projects, and we are ensuring a cohesive UX user experience. And having this system implemented, tested, and ready to use on new designs will help us to build trust through consistent components and reusable components. Um, we've also had some successes in building our team. So we have a full-time lead researcher on our team now. So this has been really important for that insights and user research part of the design process. And it's really shaping our research strategy, ensuring that all the products that we work on are built on verified user insights and data-driven decisions. And one of the last successes that I'm going to talk about is that design process, the insights, incubate, design. So we have research-driven insights. We've gathered insights through rigorous research, created more user-centered solutions by understanding our user needs and pain points, and we're incubating those ideas. So we're exploring the refined ideas before moving on to the design of the development phase, and that helps us get more innovative and effective solutions. Um, with that solid research base and the well incubated ideas, the design phase can be much more focused and much more efficient and result in high quality designs that exceed user expectations. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the lessons that we've learned this year. Um, we have learned, obviously, with the trying to get the users involved in our user testing, the importance of building community and building better experiences by collaborating together with our customers, our stakeholders, and our team members. Um, it's essential to engage everybody in this process. And again, that builds on the trust that we can strengthen trust by maintaining open communications and involving users in the development process. Another thing that has been a lesson for this year is accessibility audits. Um, so we are now committed to regularly conducting accessibility audits to ensure our products are inclusive and usable for everyone. So that again will help build up trust by demonstrating our commitment to accessibility and user-centric design. And another lesson that we've learned this year is that we can't do everything all at once. So incremental updates has been really important and it's a big lesson. So updating continuously to improve our products. And again, that improves the trust that our users see. We want to make consistent improvements and we have a commitment to quality. And in that kind of incubation phase of our design process, we've been learning a lot about prioritization. So understanding that we can prioritize features and updates based on user needs and user feedback. And that shows our user, puts more trust in our user that their input is valued and it directly influences product development. But we're always learning, we're always ready to grow, and we embrace a culture of continuous learning and improvement. It's really important to keep evolving our skills as the industry changes, as the technology that we use changes, and to try and keep ahead of industry trends is important to continuously learn. So if we go back to my UX cake analogy, um, we have lots of ingredients and methods. So just like the cake, our UX process involves various ingredients, all the user research, the usability, the wireframes, the designs, prototypes, and all of them combined together create a delightful experience. But trust is a key ingredient. It's an essential ingredient that sort of binds everything together, ensuring our users feel confident and satisfied with our products. By focusing on all these different areas that I've identified here, we can continue to build that trust and create user-centric products and foster the community that values continuous improvement and collaboration. So our goal and our UX strategy for the road ahead is to create products that exceed user expectation, build trust, and deliver value at every touch point. So we want to continuously improve this user-centric design process by focusing on ongoing research and feedback loops to understand our user needs. We're going to leverage the new design system and the iterative development process to deliver consistent, high quality user experience through established processes. And we are prioritizing accessibility and inclusivity to ensure our products are usable by everyone and adhere to accessibility standards. We're fostering a culture of collaboration and continuous learning. We empower the team to innovate and adapt to evolving user expectations. So we're always looking for ways to improve our products, and we love your input to help us make that happen. Your suggestions will guide us in deciding where we should focus our future research and development. So just scan the QR code on the screen and sign in with your email to share your thoughts or vote on the ideas that you like, and it'll help them get noticed. Thank you. I think I'm not sure if there are any questions, but Chloe, maybe you might be able to. Oh,
It looks like we don't have any questions at the moment. We can definitely give it a couple of minutes just in case anyone can think of any.
I think I spoke faster to to get to some time at the
That's
end to
okay.
answer some questions.
We've had someone say, are there any plans to share particular user insights more broadly with customers?
Yeah, I think that's something that's very much on our radar, and that sense of community and joining in with that community will help us to be able to talk kind of directly with our customers and share some of the things that we're learning.
Amazing, thank you. And we've had another question as well. Where did you first begin with Agile, Scrum, and design thinking? Was it a previous role?
So my previous role, my like speciality is more around design thinking. So I've been doing user experience for about 20 years, which feels like a very long time. Um, yeah, my speciality is design thinking. Design thinking being at the core of all product development. Um, Actually, it's some of the other members of the team who are much more integrated with the iterative development process. Pete in particular and Sarah are like sitting on those teams and working closely with the developers. So the agile kind of process there. Yeah, so previously I was at Deloitte and I was in the incubation team there, so working a lot with design thinking to take ideas from like an idea on a post-it note right through to development.
Amazing, thank you. So I think that's all the questions. I'll just check the chat pane again. Um, yeah, I think you've answered all the questions, Isabel. So I think that's great. So we can finish now. But thank you so much for running this session, and thank you everyone for joining. But yeah, thank you.
See that Adam has also shared the link to the ideas portal on the chat as well. So if you like, I can just go back to the previous screen because that's also got the QR code there in case anybody has can I go back to the previous screen actually.
Thank you.
There it is.
Oh, amazing. Thank you. Leave that up for a minute and then we can finish.
Cool.
I think we can wrap this up now, but thank you again, Isabel. Thank you so
Thank you
much.
so much.
We'll
Have a
see you
good day.
soon.